McCoy. Welcome to the Real Estate Talk Show. And we are here at Bone Structures grand opening in Caledon. And I have with me a fascinating guy, president and owner of Bone Structures. So welcome.
Well, thank you.
So tell us about what's happening today?
Well, it's a sort of a big event because we're launching. It's the first house we're doing in Ontario. Mind you, we're from Halifax to Vancouver, but we wanted to do an event here and get customers, get consumers, get builders to be aware of what is the way to build houses in 2014.
And you have no problem showing just how you built your structures.
We have to. We've got to educate people and get them to realize that we've been building houses the same old way for 400 years and nobody can explain why except that we have abundant natural resources of wood. Now we're in this day of age where those natural resources have to be preserved and used to the rightful meaning.
And they're being depleted, right?
They're being depleted faster than we can imagine. So we have to use the right material to do the right job. So skyscrapers around the world have been with steel because their intent is to have them outlive the generations that are being served right now. So the bare bones makes people appreciate that we have no interior load-bearing walls. So your house will evolve with your lifestyle and the future generations. You can have large windows, having that natural sunlight come into your life and keep that smile on your face. Get rid of the medication, you know? Bone Structure is leading by basically coming out with new technologies and new ways to erect, assemble houses. In fact, we're assembling homes. We're not building houses, which is sometimes seen as a commodity.
Right.
We're assembling homes where you can cherish a family and friends and basically transfer that asset to future generations. And that's the way it should be.
Maybe we can start from here and give a great description on the building from the outside and then going inside. How do you differ?
Well, we're different in the sense that first, the basic material that we use is galvanized steel. And 40 to 60% of our steel is recycled steel. So here how we're contributing to the ecology. All of that system is assembled like a big mechano erector set. Some of your audience might recognize what I'm talking about. The younger generation will think
don't have a clue.
Well, let's go with Legos.
Lego. Okay.
Now, there's a younger generation that are even clueless on that one too, but we might come up with an Xbox version. But basically, it's the mechano erector set material with the Lego process that is imbricked in the material. Everybody can play with Legos and understands that everything clips. So this system here is assembled. 5 workers can basically assemble this particular toy set. So they clip it all on because everything clips. There's no cutting, no piercing on our job site, and it all comes together. So let's say a 3,000 square feet home will be assembled within 5 days for the structure. Nothing will move. It has the precision of the aerospace and automotive industry. Here's one little example for your viewers. Have you and your kids play with this toy called Play-Doh. Try to build a house with Play-Doh. A little model house with Play-Doh. Do the same exercise, even with your 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds, with Legos. Because of the cognitive intelligence of the human species, you will be able to assemble a Lego house, whatever it looks like at the end of the day, very easily because there's a process imbricked in the material. That's what Bone Structure is all about. It's not a house, it's a home. It's not construction, it's not building, it's assembling, it's efficiency. This is what it's all about.
So Marc, tell us, what tools are involved in a Bone Structure job site compared to a standard construction site?
Well, pretty much no tools at all. I mean, you can get rid of that equestrian trailer full of tools in the back of that pickup truck. We have only one tool. It's a battery pack drill. Why battery pack? Because we could get on a job site and there's no electricity there yet. Or, as we will serve some other countries as Haiti, they don't have electricity. So we wanted to make sure that we have a system here that can be processed, assembled by the human beings, no matter their culture, no matter if they can read, if they can write, and basically make sure that they have a seismic-proof quality structure that will make them secure. Our system is so precise, we can tell you how many parts we have, how much weight is the house, and how many screws we have to basically assemble it. It's that type of precision. So there's no leftovers. You know, sometimes you go into some new developments on a Sunday, you're going for a bike ride. There's too much waste in that department, too much waste in the garbage containers. We've got to do it better.
Let's go to the mold issue, if you don't mind, because that is very much a problem in standard construction. And a lot of people are living with molds in their homes and they're completely unaware of it.
Here again, because we don't have any mineral wool, or we don't have the typical vapor barrier or the typical air barrier and the nails and the staples that pierce all of those supposedly barriers. Well, here again, just logically. And this is why we invent people over this weekend to come and check it out. Come and touch it, kick it, hug it. If you want to lick it, stay inside, because from the outside you might have some sort of a schoolyard flashback.
Although it's actually really warm in there. There's no insulation.
Mind you, I'd like to get you to try it to see how it goes, you know, because it is steel. But here again, wood is a very good product, and it's a beautiful natural resources we have here in Canada. But we got to use it more and more. So we in our houses use a lot of wood, but to basically contribute to a second-tier economy, to create panels, to create floors, to create furniture. Let's use the right product at the right place. And basically, steel has this property of being not affected by humidity and change of the temperatures and termites and mold.
And durability.
And durability. A lot of properties are built out there without taking advantage of the location. From passive solar energy to the way the wind is blowing onto your house, all of those little details makes what your house is comfortable or not and energy efficient or not. And then we take them by the hand and we make sure that a local builder will attain to their needs. The minimum we'll offer is the thermal envelope. So it's the bone structure, all insulated, doors and windows. And then if the people want to finish it with their brother-in-laws for the usual 28 months, well, they can do it all by themselves, and that's okay, because it is a pleasure to work into that house afterwards, because everything is done with precision. When the time comes to do the ceramic floors, everything is so straight and it's pretty easy to do. In fact, we're probably one of the only systems where you can order your kitchen cabinets before we dig into the ground.
So let's take a look at a second at the exterior of the bone structure. So can you tell us a little more about what's going on here, and more importantly, what are the options in terms of siding?
Well, here again, to the analogy of our brand, bone structure. There's 7 billion people walking planet Earth today, and we all have 206 bones. We all have a different character, a different personality, and this is what is called in this business architecture. So this technology enables anyone in any country to cosmetically dress it up in any which way they want. So we Canadians, we love wood panels, we love brick. There is no material anywhere in the world that cannot basically be attached to this technology. Same thing from the inside. So depending on your culture, depending on where you live, depending on what the precipitations will be in your area, we will help you make the right decisions to bring it as close as possible to a very, very low maintenance type of finishes.
Now, Marc, let's talk about the mechanicals. So the electrical, the plumbing, how does that all work?
Very important. You know, that's one thing we've looked at and made it a priority. Any subcontractor playing in a bone structure home does not have to pierce or cut anything to create a passage. So when the time comes to do ventilation, HVAC, plumbing, electricity, even the cable guy or cable girl won't have to pierce anything, which at the end of the day in a wood structure affects the integrity of the structure. That's the end of the Swiss cheese competition. And you should see the gratification of these guys coming out of a job site. Seriously. And they would have told you, this is just the first one they've put up. They're excited like kids going back to their toy sets. Really. You can see it, you can feel it, and we're not bribing them to say that.
So before we go, tell our viewers and listeners, why bone structure?
Well, bone structure because you want your money's worth. You want to put your money at work and make sure that the house you're buying is a home. And in this day of age where the cost of energy is skyrocketing, you want to make sure that you have a energy efficient home that will be durable, sustainable, not just in a marketing feature, but for real. That will not create health issues by having mold into the walls and so on and so forth. The other reason is basically maybe we can have smaller houses, smaller homes, but are more convenient and more flexible in its usage. So because we have no interior load-bearing walls, you can basically redistribute the insides as your family changes or evolves. as your kids come back at the age of 32 and you're with triplets, well, you can add more doors and windows also on the outside walls. You can basically cut out an outside wall and basically just snap on one window, and your house has evolved to another dimension to bring you even more pleasure.
Well, Marc, you're as nice as you are talented, and you're proudly Canadian. And remind our listeners and viewers, if they want to check out again about Bone Structure, where can they go?
Well, here it says, bonestructure.ca.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.